Joel Miller is the founder of Flames Financial Planning, a flat fee membership based financial planning firm on a mission to bring peace and freedom to your financial life, no matter your net worth. They combine comprehensive services like investment strategy, financial planning, tax filing, and estate planning into one approachable model. Now, this is for all of my clients and listeners out there that have a kid, a Gen Zer, that is a little bit hesitant about investing, especially in a market that is uncertain. So I'm very grateful to have Joel here to chat with you. Joel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing so well. I am so blessed. I have so much to be thankful for. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It's an absolute privilege.
I'm so excited. I found out before we even started this interview that we have a lot of synchronicities. Like, we both lived in Chicago for a long time. You grew up there. I just went college and beyond. And we both love the Midwest. And you now are in Minnesota. Like, how has that been shifting from Chicago to Minneapolis area?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. I love the Midwest. My heart is here. I was also on the East Coast for 10 years. So I feel like a little bit torn. Which one do I like more? I'm still trying to figure that out because the East Coast was beautiful. We got
Yeah.
to travel all along. I went to college on the East Coast and loved our time there. But it was time to bring our family back to the Midwest. I have two boys, Parker and Brady. It's my why. It's why I do everything that I do and I work so hard. So it was time to move back to be closer to grandparents, and we're very thankful for both sets of grandparents, and that's what got us back to the Midwest. I'm thankful for it, and I love the Twin Cities. Been here for 2 years now, and I was just telling you how active it is here. I'm a
Yeah.
very, very active guy myself, so I love to get outside and watch people running, biking. They're outside with their kids. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so great, and I moved down to Florida, similar thing, just to see people outside enjoying activities, like, from the ocean here to, the gym, and then by you, like, seeing the running all the time. It's cool because then the kids are also getting active and playing. So I
Yeah,
love it.
you
I
just
love
kinda
to
grow up
hear
in
it.
that culture, and it's like everyone's used to it, so it's cool. You become like the people that you surround yourself with, so you wanna surround yourself with those positive, energetic people that love to get outside, and that's just naturally how your family starts doing it.
Totally. Now you got into financial planning how?
By accident. So, I was a marketing major, I was a communication major, and I thought I was gonna go into advertising. So, this is senior year of college, way too long ago now, and my whole friend group thought it'd be so funny to apply for the same company. And I was the only person who wasn't a business major, but I applied anyway just for the fun of it. We all apply, and I'm the only person who gets this interview for a company called Vanguard. I had never heard of them before. So I go through my interview and there's a role play, of course, and I'm telling the person, hey, I have no clue what a mutual fund is. I don't know what an ETF is. So please go a little easy on me. But I had to like play through it. And he's like, just be yourself. We hire people for who they are. And if you're teachable and shapeable and moldable, and we'll teach you everything you have to know. So I get through the interview. They hire me. They took a chance on me. And I'm so thankful because my entire life was changed. I always wanted to be a teacher, but I never found that one school subject that I really loved enough. And I'm so thankful because now what I get to do every single day is teaching adults about their own personal finances and helping them with that. So now I've been
Mhm.
in the industry for coming up on 10 years, which is unbelievable. And I'm
Wow.
so grateful for that one trip to Florida that changed my entire life.
That's incredible to hear too that something like numbers and financial planning like drove you or made you excited to do something for work, for life. Obviously we can always change our careers and pivot, but at such a young age to know like this is what I want to do and to help people is incredible. Now, there's
Yeah.
so many Gen Zers out there that are very hesitant to invest their money. because they don't know what's going to happen in the stock market, or they don't understand it because they're young, and they don't teach this in school really. I didn't really learn much either growing up, to be honest,
Yep.
but I had to find the right people and discuss future planning. But what are the first steps for people that are new to this whole idea of investing for their future?
Oh my gosh, such a good question because unfortunately, the way that it works right now is if you're not taught this by your parents, who's going to teach you? I hope that we do better about teaching kids in school about this, starting at young. How young can we get this into their mind about teaching them the value of money and currency and what that means to work hard and be rewarded for that through pay. So I hope that we can change that. And I want to be a part of changing that and teaching younger people and younger generations. So if you're not one of the fortunate ones that got to grow up in money and be taught by your parents, you're kind of on your own right now, right? Which makes it really difficult. And if you have a conversation with the wrong person or you trust the wrong person, you could be set up for maybe some success, but it really depends on who you talk to. So
Right.
that's what is so important is teaching the correct thing to all the people, bringing financial planning to the mass affluent class, because historically the mass affluent class and blue collar, white collar have been completely like neglected in this, which is so sad. And that's why like myself and Flames Financial Planning are trying to be a trailblazer in the industry to bring investments and planning to the mass affluent class because it's just so important.
Yeah. And that is something I have noticed, and I don't know why it is, but I think that's why people are divisive. Like, we are not working together because there is such a separation in language when it comes to this topic. So
Yeah.
what is something that we can do as consumers to start to learn? Obviously, like, invest with you, and but what's like one step to improve our language when it comes to finance?
Yeah, I love the way that you use the word language because this is a different language. I could start speaking financial terms and it's going to sound just as similar as Chinese to like if I'm saying all of these buzzwords and industry words that you might not understand. So I think education is a big part of that. You need to find whether it's a friend, a family member, someone you trust, you need to go find that person. I think we need to be more open about talking about our finances.
Mm,
They get pushed to the side because you're too afraid to be judged by someone or you're too afraid to ask a dumb question. I tell all of my clients, I tell everyone I meet, there's no such thing as a dumb question. The one that's dumb is the one that you're not asking
mhm.
because that's why we make mistakes for so long because we're too afraid to ask. We're too afraid to be open about it. We're too private about this. I do think there's a healthy line that we should try to find. But and it's so funny because I still have friends who reach out to me and they say, "Hey, I'm so sorry for asking you this question." And I said, "No, no, no, no. Don't be sorry. I'm proud of you for asking this. This is something we get to celebrate. I get to teach you, and we get to have a fun conversation about this. It happened this morning. It happens every single day where someone apologizes for asking me a question, and that's what we need to change. We should
Mhm.
not be shaming people for asking a simple question or a complex question about your own finances. Because my job, and I hope any fiduciary financial planner's job, is to educate.
Yeah.
This is a relationship business. This honestly is not rocket science. It is not the most difficult subject in the entire world, but you have to find that person that you trust, that you are willing to ask and you're willing to have these sort of subjects and conversations with.
I can just feel your energy that you love to teach people. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, I love to teach it. Like, quick plug for my Instagram and my YouTube, I
Yeah,
post daily free financial content because I'm sick of people not knowing. I want people to be educated on this sort of subjects from as
totally.
simple as a high yield savings account to a backdoor Roth IRA, right? From the most simple to some of the most complex everywhere in between. So it's time that people understand these subjects and the earlier you get started the better because compounding interest is one of the most powerful tools out there. So we
Mhm.
got to start learning this in your teens so that way you have some experience in your 20s and that way you're not behind by the time you hit 30.
It's true, and I will say I'm in my 30s, and the one thing I regretted was getting into investments. Like I had an IRA, but just like understanding investments on my own leisure, like
Mhm.
just kind of understanding risk. And then, now I'm able to like reap from the reward of it, but it's really hard. It's really hard to start later. So I love that you said that. It's people in their teens too. What they have in Florida here is I mean, there's 529s everywhere. But what I love about this specific area is they have a 4-year college plan too. And you can set it in stone and then you can pay into it. And if they decide not to go to a Florida school, like you can take that money out and use it to a different college. What is one tip you would give parents right now to start saving for their retirement and their kids' education?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I love that the laws continue to change all the time. We
Hmm.
can't just learn once and then stick with that plan for the next 30 years because new accounts come out and the laws change, the tax rules change. So, as of right now, the two best accounts for minors or for saving for your kids are a 529, like you mentioned. Florida doesn't have a state tax deduction, but a lot of other states do, but
Yes.
they do have the prepaid version you were talking about. You can even lower your state tax bill sometimes, depending on where you live, by putting money into a 529 for your kid. Or if you want more flexibility, you can put it in a UTMA, which is just like an investment account with your name and the minor name on that. So that way you can grow some assets for them. And I would say start early and be consistent. A small number multiplied by a small number for a long period of time equals a big number. So whether it's retirement or for your kids, the earlier you start, the less you have to put away. And something that I hear a lot, and it breaks my heart a little bit, is I hear parents or people say, well, I didn't have it this way, so I'm not going to do it for my kids that way. Or like, I had to do this, so I want my kids to experience the same thing. And like, what I love to say is, or this could be the changing moment. You could
Mhm.
change and it could be different for your kids. Like, do you remember how hard it was? Do you remember having to pay for your entire college yourself? Or do you remember having to learn these things through multiple mistakes and failures over and over? You can be the catalyst for your kids and your grandkids to have it easier or different than the way you had it. So,
Yeah.
whether it's like for your own retirement or for your kids or grandkids, start early, stay consistent, and try to do it to the best of your abilities or know when you should pass that responsibility on to someone that you can trust.
So good. Love that. Now you have kids yourself. What was that financial change that you had to make when you became parents for the first time?
Yeah, it's a great question. I want them to be equipped. I want them to know. So I tell my little boy, my 3-year-old, I tell him all the time, like, hey, daddy's got to go to work. I work at home. So it finding that what does that look like? It's a lot different from when my dad would go into the office or most parents like leave the home and go to the workplace.
Totally.
So I make sure that he understands like what work is and where it also falls in the priority. So like for me and my family, our priority is one, our faith, two,
Mhm.
our family, and three, work. That sounds upside down and that sounds counterproductive, but that's what allows me to give the best to my work is having it in that correct order. So I
Mm.
ask my little boy, I'm like, hey, why does daddy go to work? Right. And he'll tell me, well, we need to go make money to provide for the family. So I'm
Oh,
trying to instill these values in him so that way
sweet.
he knows that I'm not like leaving him or ditching him, but this is how we keep the lights on. This is how we drive to go see our friends. This is why we get to do the activities that we love. And then, so those are some of the fun lessons, and the hard lessons are like things are expensive. You go to Costco hoping to get out with one or two things, and you come out with a cart full, right? So I
Yes.
had to learn just like everyone else how much diapers cost, how much the wipes cost, and the baby food, and like all of that sort of stuff as well. So there are trade offs with every single decision, but being a
Mm.
parent, I'll pay all the money in the world because being a parent is one of the most special things possible.
Mm. Now you said something interesting. You now work from home. My husband also works from home, and that has definitely shifted. And
Yep.
it's interesting because I have noticed the older generation kind of questions, why are you guys at home? Are you guys working hard enough because you're not going into an office and being away? But I feel there's so much advantages to staying at home, being around with what you just said. I think you stated that beautifully, and the education that you're teaching your in the values. But what is a challenging thing being a business owner and working from home?
Yeah, it's definitely like you feel this tug, you feel this pull, and I think we just have to balance that act regardless of you're in the office or if you're at home, right? I'm
Right.
making sacrifices maybe with friends or coworkers or maybe some other things, but that's on me to adjust. That's on me to change, right? So the way
Mhm.
that I love to start my days is I get up early and I get a workout in so I can stay physically fit and keep my mind active. I'll come downstairs and I'll get some work in before the kids are up, maybe send some emails, reply to some things, do some clerical work. And then I usually take off I'm done with work between 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. so I can help with the kids and see them. Right. So,
Beautiful.
what that means, it's a little bit different. I wake up earlier, I sacrifice some sleep to get done the things that I need to get done for working out and work. I pause, I go be with the family. That means I get to have breakfast with them every single day. I get to like sit down at the table and see them and like just start the day right as a family, which is really cool. And then I unpause and I go back to work at 9 a.m. Right. So it
Yeah,
is this trade offs, and you're just trying to figure out, we're all just trying to do it the best. So no one is perfect, but we're all trying to figure out what works best for our families.
I love that. Now, as a business owner, what has been the greatest challenge when it comes to networking? Because I know that that is really actually hard for people in their 20s and 30s. We had the pandemic. Then, you feel like a little bit awkward again getting into a rhythm. So, what's been a challenge for you?
That's a great question. I am very thankful it's a little bit easier for me because I have a great community of other CEOs who are running their own planning firms. So I do get to have that accountability and those relationships, but it can be hard sometimes, right? Honestly, my wife is my superhero. She's like my therapist, and we talk about things all the time, whether it's work related or questions that are going on, or this was hard, or this went really, really well.
Amazing.
So it can be hard out there. You have to find those people. You have to find the people that you trust, that you love, the
Right.
accountability group. Get plugged in with a network where you can be communicating maybe a little bit each day or maybe once a week. So I have a set reoccurring meeting with other CEOs, other people who are running their own businesses. So we get to just talk about business for a little bit. What went really well for you this week? What were your challenges this week? So you need that in your life to stay sharp and stay ready for everything else that is going to come.
What made you decide to start your own firm?
I have been very blessed to work for two incredible employers in my past, and I feel like they taught me so much. My first employer, I learned everything under the sun. I was working lots of hours, and that taught me how to do a little of everything. And then I left and I went to a startup that taught me what it takes to be a business owner.
Mm,
What's underneath the hood? What do you need to do? How hard do you have to work? What do you have to get done? So I feel like I was perfectly equipped with a very large business and then a startup. I feel like it was just the right opportunity for me to go in and say, I'm ready to be the decision maker, right? I think
yeah.
every entrepreneur has that moment where the light bulb turns on and you're like, I think there's enough of a value opportunity and business differences where you can go do something. So
Hmm.
for me, what it really was offering everything under one service model for one affordable subscription. Because a lot of financial companies say, hey, we'd love to help with your investments and we'd love to help with your financial planning. Oh, but your tax return, you're going to have to go somewhere else, go get that done, and then tell us when it's done. Then maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we won't. Or same thing with estate planning. We really want you to go get this done, but we're not going to assist you in getting it done because it might be inconvenient to us. That was really when I knew that I wanted to go start my own company, when I had a business model that made sense for everyone and it was affordable for the mass affluent class. One of the only for the price where you get your investments, your planning, your tax filing, and your estate planning done under one roof, under one membership. So, absolutely game changer when it comes to the industry.
That's really cool. One stop shop,
Yeah,
right?
one-stop shop because that's
Yeah,
how it should be. We live
it
in a
should be.
digital age and technology where if I tell you to go somewhere else, that's when mistakes start creeping in or accidents happen or miscommunication gets lost in the
Miscommunication.
process somewhere.
Totally.
So I've been working with a client for 2 or 3 years, and they were doing their tax returns somewhere else. And I was telling them what to do or telling them what to tell their tax preparer. And then one year I get the tax return and I notice it might not look exactly as I was expecting. So that's where a
Mm,
lot of the decision came in is, well, hey, how can I have my eyes on your messages? How can I be more involved in your planning process, in your tax filing or your state documents? So that way I have more faith and trust that this is being executed the right way, just like I want it to be, just like we talked about. The
right.
goals and the strategies are not getting lost in the communication or by you going somewhere else to get that done.
Mm. When it comes to making decisions, have you noticed that people can sometimes be resistant to something new in their planning?
Yeah, sometimes it is hard to take that first step, especially with people who's never worked with a financial planner before. I think it is really easy for people who have had a planner before because they're already used to that and they love it and they're excited about it. But I have a lot of people who this is their first time trusting someone else and handing over that cash and handing over those investments. And what I tell people, the way I describe it is I'm gonna be in the driver's seat of the car, and I will have control of the steering wheel, but you're right next to me. You're in that passenger seat, so we're going the same direction. We are going through life together, and it's just a quick question. Like, if you need something or if you're confused about something, I want you involved in the process as some people wanna know everything and some people wanna know nothing, but every single person is in the car with me. So that's the way I try to describe it is that
Totally.
you're not getting out of the car. You're not like in some different state, in some different universe. We it was you or you and your spouse doing this all alone before. Now you're just adding me into the process and we get to do it together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more like a partnership. That's what it should
Exactly.
be. Mhm. Money is, though, a very taboo topic for a lot of people. What's something for those people that are new? What's something that you do to help them feel like, well, they know you'll have it under control, but more so, how do you help them feel safe?
Yeah. It's a relationship business, right? If you
Right.
lose that trust, which is ultimately what it comes down to, then you've messed up your one job as a fiduciary, right? Is to take care of them, to have their best interest in mind. And one of the ways that I do that, and I hope this gets even more popular in the entire industry across the board, is something called fee only. What that means and what I tell people is clients of Flames Financial Planning, my entire salary, all of the revenue from this business is only from the memberships, and I pay partners. I pay someone to do your tax return. I pay someone to assist you with your estate planning, and you don't have to pay that. I'm paying that, but no one else is paying me. So you don't have to worry about like a recommendation like, "Oh, I might recommend $2 million in term life insurance," right? You don't
Right.
have to worry like, well, is Joel getting a commission from that? How much is he making from that? And that's what I am always trying to educate people on as well. If you're talking to someone who is getting a commission from the product that you're getting into, there's more conflict of interest. We
Right.
cannot eliminate conflict of interest, but we're trying to eliminate those as often or as much as possible. So that's one thing that really helps bridge that gap of trust is that I confidently tell people, no one else but you. You're paying me, you're paying Flames to be a client here, but no one else is paying me. So you don't have to worry about my recommendations because I'm trying to eliminate some of those conflict of interest. That helps a lot because
Yeah.
historically in this industry, there are planners, insurance agents, other people where commissions are a big way that they put food on their own tables, which brings in some of those big conflicts of interest.
Totally. That also will take stress off of them too, knowing that you are here and connected with the best people that are in like-minded space, which I think
Yeah.
is really cool. It's
Oh my
really
gosh,
neat.
stress. Money is probably one of the leading stress
Yeah.
causers in us, right? So
Mhm.
we will never be able to fully eliminate stress
No.
out of every area of our life. If someone has that or someone knows how to do that, please let us all know, right?
Right.
What we're trying to do is how can we eliminate as much stress as possible? Or when we are stressed, what outlet do we use? What do we do with that stress?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to solve for because we cannot completely eliminate it. And that's what that's what makes me so passionate about it. When a client tells me, wow, I'm way less stressed about my money, my retirement, or my kids or my future, that's what helps me sleep better at night.
Would you say those areas that you just mentioned are the big stressors that keep them up at night?
I
Like
would say
on
so for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, some people are really, really nervous about money being lost in the stock market. So I get to educate them about like, hey, well, we do it this way. We start with an emergency fund for emergencies, 3 to 6 months of your expenses that's in liquid, high performing cash in a high yield savings account. That's good. Now we get
Mhm.
to upgrade. We built our foundation and we go up. We use low cost investments, ETFs that are globally diversified that have great historical returns. And it's just trying to break it down. So if there's stress about one of these subjects, it's coming from something else. Is it coming from not being educated in the past? Is it coming from maybe someone burned you or someone took advantage of you in this area? It's in years ago. So we're trying to get down to that root cause of why is this causing you stress and how can we eliminate that or bring that down as much as possible. And once you get over the first hurdle, it's a lot easier because then you have that relationship, they have the trust, and it's the hardest moment is like at the very first moment when you're trying to hand over the keys to someone else.
Man, it's a lot of generational wealth mindset issues. I feel that, and just from what you said, I feel that's a huge, huge toll on a lot of people. And that's where the stress continues to build. It's from like generations of the past.
100%
Yeah.
because oftentimes you will make money similar to the ways your parents made money. You will spend money similar to the ways that your parents spend money. You'll invest similar. It's so much about the people that showed us how to do it. And
Mm.
often that's from our parents. So we are trying to you either hope you got born into a family that did it well, or you need to learn the hard mistakes if you came from a family that didn't do well. So it is very, very historical based on like the way you grew up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. On your website, I believe you mentioned about the emergency fund? Like, you
Mhm.
have a calculator on there. Could you share more about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
What made you to decide to add the calculator to your website?
Oftentimes we skip steps and that can lead. Imagine if you're building a house, if you skip the foundation, your house is coming down, right? So
Yeah.
we need to start at level one. And that is as simple as an emergency fund. One of the things that can help decrease financial stress by an enormous percent is knowing that you're going to be okay. If you lose your job, if everything starts breaking in the house, which we all know it, somehow all of the appliances talk to each other at the exact same time and they all decide to break in the same month. So that emergency fund can be one of the best stress relievers and I tell my clients, I'm happy with three, four, five, or six. We can decide, do we want to be on the more aggressive side? Do we want to be on the more conservative side? But what I want is a plan. If you lose your job, you know you're good. And I can tell you you're good because we have a runway. Our expenses will be paid for. You can get that new job. I can help through that process, but we can't skip that step, right? We
Mhm.
can't jump to investing. We cannot jump to doing like your 401k max contribution if we don't even have step one solved for and figured out. So that is one of my very first questions when a client comes on. I say, all right, how much do we have in cash? Where is it? And what is our goal for our emergency fund? It all starts there.
That is so key, and I'm so glad you shared that with the audience. That was probably something I learned, again, a little too late, like, in my 20s. Like, I wish I would've started sooner. So, if anything, this whole episode is just start now, wherever you're at. And even if you're in your 30s or your 40s, start now. Like,
100%.
your
The
life
best
matters.
day was yesterday. Today is the second best day. So you can start today and it's not too late because there's always someone else who is older than you who also hasn't started. And if you
Yeah.
start, you can educate them and you can tell them what you're doing. So absolutely agree that start, just start. Even if you think it's going to be too hard or too difficult, we can apply that. That is such wisdom that we can apply to anything we're doing, whether it's a physical goal or a relationship goal or a financial goal. You just got to start sometimes. You got to get yourself off the couch.
Amen. So, how has stress saved your life?
I think one of the things that we can do is harness that stress and allow it to push us forward, right? Pressure makes diamonds. So we need to learn how to do the same thing in our life. What are we going to do when we're stressed? For me, it's going out and crushing a bike ride or going on a run or just being with my family who is like my rock and like my foundation. So when you're stressed, what are we doing? Are you going to go grab like unhealthy food? Or are you going to go do an unhealthy habit or something that might pull us the wrong direction? If we can harness that stress to push our life forward instead of pushing our life backwards, then that is going to be a game changer. We need to learn how to adapt. And the way that I've been able to do that is all right, how can I harness this stress to be the best either dad that I can be, the best husband that I can be, the best athlete, or the best CEO that I can be? And that's what I just keep telling myself in my head. If I'm stressed, go back to those things. Go back to like of my why and why I work so hard, why I'm so passionate about what I do. And
Mm,
that way, it's just going to help me. It's going to help me from not going towards the unhealthy route or the addiction route or like it's something like that.
love it. Joel, you've been absolutely amazing. I want people to be able to connect with you, invest with you, go check out Flames Financial Planning. How do they connect?
Absolutely. It is our honor, our pleasure. If you are looking for that person that you want to partner with, if you're looking for that almost financial trainer that you want to be held accountable with, you want to set goals, you want to walk through life, and you don't want to worry about stress and this money that has been hanging over your head, we all have so many spinning plates. And if you feel like your finances are one of the plates that you continue to drop over and over because you have too much that's going on in your life, it's time to think about partnering with a financial planner.
Mm,
So I want you to, if you want to be a member, go to our website, flamesfp.com. You can send me a message. You can jump on my calendar. I would love to get to know you. I want to hear about your financial journey, what you love, what you don't love, and we'll see if you're a good fit. If you are just looking for free informational content, if you love to learn, if you love to grow, you can follow me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on YouTube for free content. So send me a message. You can send me an email, joelmiller@flamesfp.com, and I would love to get in contact with you just to meet you, to say hello, and just talk about your money. So that's what I would love if you reach out to me. I just can't wait to meet you.
thank you so much, Joel. I'm really, really happy that you were able to come. And first off, thanks for finding me. I love having guests like you on who are very straightforward. And I think that's very helpful for listeners. Sometimes I feel like there's a cycle that happens, and I'm just grateful for all the information you provided today. So thank you so much. And
Yeah.
guys, remember always share your takeaways and speak well to yourself on your self love journey. Until next time, take care.